Hello students, welcome to Talking Textbooks Leaving No Child Behind. So this is our awesome team you can see here. Just a second. So this is our awesome team which you can see here. So we all are teaching different subjects on YouTube, through Talking Textbooks platform, and we are taking, we'll be offering courses of 6 to 8 Olympiad. We'll be covering that. Then NCERT will be covering, NTSC, NSC, JS, PRMO, 6 to 10th school level examinations. All this we would be covering, right? So you can go through our different packages which are available on www.talkingtextbooks.in. You can go there. This is our website, that is www.talkingtextbooks.in. You can go there and see the different packages which are there for science as well, science and maths both. So this is the highest package for 9,000, which will go down to 6,300 if you use my code AVLIVE, and then there will be a 30% discount, and you can get it in 6,300 only. You can get it in 6,300 only, right? And these are the payment modes, the different payment modes that you can pay through. And if still you have any query related to the packages, see, this is for overall course. If you want just the test series, to enroll in just the test series, you can do that as well. All those packages you can get on our website. And if you have further queries related to this, you can always ask on this number 9549041111. You can always ask on that, right? Moving on, these are our Telegram channels. You can enroll in, you can join any of these according to your respective class. You can join there, have the DPP study material, right? You can have it there. So today is lecture 2. Today is lecture 2 of number theory, and before that, please take the promise, and then we'll start with the different whatever topics that are remaining. We'll start with that. Fine, let's start with it. So today's lecture is on number theory itself. We have already done the first lecture, and today we'll be studying about types of fractions. Then we'll be doing few questions on, we'll be reading about the concept of V-Bodmer's square, square roots, cube roots. So this we are hoping to do it. And what are the prerequisites? You should be able, you must have studied about fractions, so you should be able to do addition, subtraction of the fractions, and actually you should be able to take the LCM. You should know how to take the LCM, right? That is the basic prerequisite of it. So let's start. What are basically fractions? These are part of whole. These are basically such real numbers. Just a second. These are such real numbers. These are such real numbers which can be written, if I go with the basic definition, right, which is what? Such real numbers which can be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are whole numbers, and Q is not equals to 0. Right, children? So this is important. Why am I saying that P and Q should be whole numbers? Because now the physical meaning of fraction means that it is part of a whole. Means there has to be something. Let's say if there are 25 books in a bag, then my requirement is of 4 books. Required are 4 books. Then what is the fraction of this requirement of 4 books? What is the fraction of this? It will be how many books are required. What is the fraction of required books? It is 4 by 25. Means from total how much is required? 4 is required, right? So obviously there has to be something. There has to be something present, then only I can take it, right? So that is known as fraction, right? So it is basically part of whole and it is always positive. Like fractions are always positive, they can never be negative. Fractions are always positive. So if you see any negative fraction, then that is not a fraction, that is a rational number, right? That is a rational number. And q cannot be 0. Why? If I write something like this, 5 upon 0, then it does not mean anything. It is meaningless. It is not defined. It is meaningless, right? So 0 cannot come in the denominator. Hence, I wrote q not equals to 0. Right? So this is basic about the fractions. This is basic about fractions. We all have read also. So now we talk about its. Now we talk about the types of fractions. We talk about the types of fractions now. Types of fractions. So it is broadly divided. It is broadly divided into two categories. So what are the two categories? What are the two categories? It is, first is the decimal fraction. Decimal fraction. What are decimal fractions? Which have denominators such as such as 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 and so on. So such fractions which have denominators in the form of 10, 100,000, right? So these are known as decimal fractions. Let's take an example. Let's say 7 upon 10 or 16 upon 100 or 29 upon 10,000. So all these are what? All these are decimal fractions because they have 10, 100,000 denominators, have such denominators, right? And what is the next type? It is vulgar fraction. It is known as vulgar or normal fraction. So all the fractions other than decimal are, all the fractions other than decimal, all the fractions other than decimal, are, all the fractions other than decimal are normal fractions, right? Which do not have such like 10, 100,000 such forms in the denominator are normal fractions. So let's take an example. For example, if I wrote 2 by 5 or 9 by 7 or 6 upon 44 or 43. So all these are what? All these are vulgar fractions or normal fractions other than this. Now let's come to the like more apt types. So what are those? See, now it is classified like this. If I talk about, first is like proper fraction. First is proper fraction. So what are proper fraction? Where numerator is smaller than denominator. When numerator is smaller than denominator, then that is known as what? That is known as proper fraction. Its value, let me take an example, then I'll write the other point. Let's say if I wrote something like this, 11 upon 23 or 79 upon 111 or 42 upon 65, right? So here numerators are smaller than the denominator, right? So such fractions are known as proper fraction. Its value, important point is its value always lie between 0 and 1. its value always lie between 0 and 1, because if you are going to divide, of course it will be between 0 and 1 only, right? So its value always lie between 0 and 1. Second type is improper fraction. Second type is improper fraction. So what are those? What are those improper fractions? Where numerator is greater than denominator. Improper also means something which is not proper. So what all comes in not proper? This I am going to tell in the next point. Let me take few examples. When numerator is greater, so if I write 5 upon 2, here numerator is greater. If I write 56 upon 29, if I write something like this, excuse me. Let's say 47 upon 16. So all these are what? Numerator is greater and denominator is smaller. Now one more thing, its value is always greater than or equal to 1. Its value is always greater than equal to 1, right? Its value is always greater than or equal to 1. Why am I saying equal to 1? Because what does the definition of improper says? Improper means something which is not proper. So definition of proper is that numerator has to be smaller, but numerator is bigger here, right? And one more thing is, important thing is, if I say 9 upon 9, right? Or if I say 22 upon 22, or if I say 7 upon 7. So all these are equal to 1. Right? And they are also what? Improper fraction only. Improper fraction. Why they are improper fraction? Because they are not proper. Why they are not proper? Because they do not have numerator smaller than the denominator. Right? So they lie in the category of improper fraction. So this kind of fraction is also, which is equal to 1, is also improper fraction. Right? Next comes mixed fraction. Mixed fraction is what? Mixed fraction is what? It consists of, or it is a combination of whole number plus fractional part. So this fractional part is always what? Proper fraction. This fractional part is always a proper fraction. Clear? Example: 2 3 by 5, 7 9 by 11. Right? All these are what? Proper mixed fractions. So this is going to be what? Proper fraction. This is always going to be a proper fraction, and this is going to be what? This is going to be, means this is a whole number. Right? So this part is a whole number and this is a proper fraction. And important thing, we can convert what? Mixed fraction can be converted to improper fraction, can be converted to improper fraction, and vice versa. right? So means if there is a mixed fraction given, it can be converted into improper, and improper fraction can be converted into mixed fraction, right? So this was basic about mixed fraction. Now next is compound fraction. Next is compound fraction. What are compound fraction? What are compound fraction? Which have numerator and denominator both as fractions. Which have just a second. Which have numerator and denominator. Numerator and denominator both are fractions. So such fractions are known as compound fractions. Let's take few examples. 2 by 3 and 5 by 6. 2 by 3 and 5 by 6. 2 by 3 and 5 by 6. Right? One more example could be 7 by 9, 11 by 23, and so on. So here numerator and denominator both are what? Both are fractions. Right, children? Next, let's talk about comparison of fractions. Let's talk about comparison of fractions. Let's talk about comparison of fractions. Very easy. So in this, basically, I'll take an example by doing ascending. We are supposed to find the ascending order of, let me take an example. Let's say I took 1 by 3, 2 by 5 and 7 by 4. Fine. So I took this number. This is already greater. Let me take a proper fraction only. 3 by 4. Fine. So let's see which number is greater here. Which number is greater? We are supposed to write it in the ascending order. We are supposed to write it in the ascending order. So let's see to it. So basic first step is what? That I am supposed to make the LCM of these. I am supposed to take the LCM of these. I am supposed to take the LCM of these. Right? So LCM of 3, 5 and 4 is going to be what? 5, 4, that's 20 and 60. It is going to be 60. Right? So now I am supposed to convert these. I am supposed to convert these denominators into 60. So what will 1 by 3 become? 1 by 3 would become what? I am supposed to multiply it with 20, and so 20 itself, I'll write it directly. Right? I'll write it directly. This becomes 20 upon 60. Then 2 by 5. 2 by 5 I am supposed to multiply with 12, 24. 24 by 60, and then is 3 by 4. So I am supposed to multiply it with 15. So 45. 45 upon 60. Now I have same denominator, so I can easily write it in the ascending order. So smallest is, they are written in the ascending order itself. 20 by 60 is the smallest, then is 24 by 60, and then is 45 by 60. So I can write it in this order itself. 1 by 3 is smaller than 2 by 5, which is smaller than 3 by 4. Right? Is this clear? Is this clear, children? So this is how you will do the comparison. Next we will talk about V-Bodmas. Next we will talk about V-Bodmas. Next we will talk about V-Bodmas now. Next we will talk about V-Bodmas now. So what does V-Bodmas stand for? What does V-Bodmas stand for? See, V, B, O, D, M, A, S. So this is what? Vinculum. This is vinculum. This is vinculum or a bar. This is vinculum or a bar. This is bracket. This is bracket. Right, children? This is bracket. Now, this bracket also has a precedence. This bracket also has a precedence. First, you are supposed to solve the round bracket, then curly bracket, and then it is the square bracket that you will be solving in the last. O is for off. O stands for off, which is actually what? Multiplication. Then D. D is for division. D is for division. Then M is multiplication. M is multiplication. A is addition. A is addition, and S stands for subtraction. S stands for subtraction. Okay, so let's do one question related to this. Let's do one question related to this and see how we can do it. Let's say if question is given like this: 36 minus 2, 20 plus 12 divided by 4 multiplied by 3 minus 2 multiplied by 2. Let me check it again. 36 minus 2 bracket 20 plus 12 divided by 4 into 3 minus 2 multiplied by 2 plus 10. This we are supposed to take the value of it. So let's do it. So what we are going to do, we'll be obviously doing this. We'll be obviously calculating the bracket first. So 36 minus 2 would remain as it is, and we'll first be solving the division part. So 20 plus this becomes 3 multiplied by 3 minus 2 into 2, 4. I'm going to do it. Why? Because this is in multiplication. Plus 10. This happens. Then next is 36 minus 2. Then this becomes 20 plus 3 3s is 9 and minus 4 plus 10. Next, I'm supposed to solve the bracket part only. 36 minus 2, and this is 20 plus 9 is 29 minus 4 plus 10. So this becomes what? 36 minus 2, and 29 minus 4 is what? 29 minus 4 is 25 plus 10. 36 minus 2 into 25 is 50 plus 10. So I'll be solving this first. 36 plus 10 I'll solve first. Why? Because they're in the same terms. So this becomes what? 46 minus 50, and this gives me what? Minus 4. So minus 4 is my answer here. Next, let's do one more question. In the same manner. The next question says 72 minus 12 divided by 3 of 2 plus 18 minus 6 divided by 4. So we are supposed to calculate this. 72 minus 12 divided by 3 of 2 plus 18 minus 6 divided by 4. So let's do this. First, obviously I'll be solving the bracket. There are two brackets, but nonetheless there is no like round bracket inside. So I'll solve first the division part. So this becomes what? 72 minus 3 4s are 12. This becomes 3 4s are 12. Oh, just a second. It's not off that we'll be calculating first. We'll calculate the it'll be written as it is. Divided would be written as it is, and 3 of 2. I'll solve 3 of 2 first, which is what? 3 2s are 6, because in V BODMAS off comes first, then comes the division, plus 18 minus 6, or I can directly solve it because this is in different bracket. So I'll solve it directly, which is what? 12 divided by 4, right? Now 72 as it is minus 6 2s are 12 plus 4 3s are 12. So 3 here equals to 72 minus 2. 72 minus 2 is what? 70 plus 3. So this gives me how much? 73. This gives me how much? 73. Right? Now let's do few questions which have come in earlier examinations. Let's do few questions. So the question is something like this. It says, it has come in 2018. This question has come in 2018. So the question says, the sum of the numbers in the three brackets is, so what is it? 24 equals to 20 upon bracket equals to 24 upon 18 equals to 4 upon the bracket, right? So it is given like this, and what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to find the sum of these three brackets, right? So let it be A, let this be A, let this be B, and let this be C, right? So let's do this question. Before that, let me change the ink because I like doing that. So these are, we can see that these all are what? These are basically equivalent fractions, right? So if I want to solve them, what does this become? It becomes 4 by 3 basically. It is 4 by 3, right? If I want to calculate it, so 6 3s are 18, 6 4s are 24. It will go 6 times. Like from 6 it will be divisible. So this becomes 4, and here I can see it is 4. So I am supposed to multiply this with 1. So I will be multiplying this also with 1, and so I get 3 here. Now what am I supposed to multiply 4 with so that I get 20? It is 5. So I will be multiplying with 5 here as well. So this becomes 5. 3 5s are 15. Oh sorry, 15. This becomes 15. And what is here? This is 24. So what am I supposed to multiply 3 with? 8. So I am supposed to multiply the same number 8 with 4 as well. 32. This becomes 32. So what are my numbers? My numbers that I am supposed to add are 32 plus 15 plus 3, which gives me how much? 5 and 15, 0 and 1, 3, 4 and 5. So my answer is 50 here. My correct answer is 50 here. Right children? Let's do one more question which has also come in the examination in earlier. Just a second. I can have it here as well. So the question says, the fraction to be added. This has also come in 2018, I guess. The fraction to be added to 1 by 3 to get the fraction 4 by 7 is. So we need to find the fraction. A option is 2 1 by 21. B option is 2 4 by 21. C option is 2 5 by 21. And D option is 2 6 by 21. So these are the four options. And we are supposed to know the fraction to be added to 2 1 by 3. So let that number be So let the fraction that is supposed to be added be x. Let the fraction to be added be x. Let the fraction to be added be x. So what I'll do, I'll add x to this. 2 1 by 3 is what? 7 by 3. So I'll add 7 by 3 with x, which gives me what? 28. 28 and 32 by 7. So this is 32 by 7. So this x becomes 32 by 7 minus 7 by 3. This becomes 7 by 3. So this is 21 and this would be multiplied with 3. So this becomes 3 to the 6 and this is multiplied by 3, right? So this becomes 96 minus 7, 49. So what does this become? This gives me 6 and 3, 7 and 8 and 4 is 4. So 47 by 21 is my answer basically. So how much does this become in the mixed fraction form? This becomes 21 and 2 times it goes 21 and what remains? 2 times it goes, so this becomes 242 and 5. So this becomes 25 by 21. 25 by 21 is option C. 25 by 21 is option C here. So option C is the correct answer here. Let's do next one more question which has also come in 2018 only. So this is also a question which has come in 2018, which is this. So the question is 1 plus 1 by 9, then 1 plus 1 by 8, 1 plus 1 by 7, 1 plus 1 by 6, 1 plus 1 by 5, 1 plus 1 by 4, 1 plus 1 by 3, up till 1 plus 1 by 2. So this is given to us and its value has been asked. So we are going to make it into fraction forms, which becomes what? 10 upon 9. This becomes 9 upon 8. This becomes 8 upon 7. This becomes 7 upon 6. Then 6 upon 5. This is 6 upon 5, then 5 upon 4, then 4 upon 3, then 3 upon 2 is the last answer, right? So we can cancel it. I can see it here. Oh, I forgot to change the ink. No problem. So these all will be cancelled. All this gets cancelled and cancelled and cancelled. So what is remaining here? 10 by 2, which is 5. 5 is our answer here. Correct, children? 5 becomes our answer here. Let's do one more question which has also come in 2018, right? So let me do that. Let me write the question. So the question says, if A hash B. If A hash B is what? If A hash B is A into B upon A plus B. If A hash B is A into B upon A plus B, then the value of the value of 12 hash 8 upon 8 hash 4 plus 10 hash 6 upon 6 hash 2 is. Let me recheck it. If A hash B is equals to A into B upon A plus B, the value of 12 hash 8 upon 8 hash 4 plus 10 hash 6 upon 6 hash 2 is. So we are supposed to find its value. So let's do that. What will it be? It will be this. See, 12 hash 8 means what? 12 into 8? 16 and 12 8s is 76 upon 12 plus 8 is 20. So this becomes how much? This becomes 24 upon 5. 24 upon 5. Sorry, this is 96, not 76. 96. 12 8 is 96. and 24, this becomes what? 24 upon 5, right? This is 24 upon 5. Next we solve 8 hash 4, which is what? 8 into 4, 32 upon 8 plus 4, 12, which is equal to 8 by 3. Next is 10 hash 6, which is equal to 10 into 6 is 60 upon 16, which is again equal to what? 10 hash 6, right? 10 hash 6 is 15 upon 4, this becomes equal to 15 upon 4, and last is 6 hash 2, which is equal to what? 6 hash 2 is equal to 6 2s are 12 upon 8, which is equal to how much? 3 by 2. So what am I supposed to do now? I'll arrange all these fractions in the given, like asked fraction. So what does this become according to question? What does this become? 24 upon 5 upon 8 is to 4, 8 hash 4 it is. So 8 upon 3 plus 10 hash 6, right? So this becomes 15 by 4 upon 3 by 2. 3 by 2, so what all gets cancelled? 8 3s are 24, this becomes like this, and this becomes 2 times, this goes 5 times. So what is remaining? 3 3s are 9 by 5 remains, plus, and in the second term 5 by 2 remains. In the second term 5 by 2 remains. Yes, let's do it. This is 10, and 9 2s is 18, plus this is multiplied by 25, and how much does this become? 8 and 10, 13, and 43 by 10 is our answer. 43 by 10 is our answer here. Got it, children? I hope you have understood this. Let's talk about square and square roots now. Let's do square and square roots. Let's talk about square and square roots. Let me take the pen first. Yes. So let's talk about square and square roots. Let's do this. So what is square? What is a square basically? Square is, we all know this is a square. This is a square which has side. This is a side, and this is also a side. If I want to calculate its area, what do? I do side ka square, right? I make square of this side, right? Similarly, this is for the geometry part. Similarly, if I want to talk about algebra, if I'm talking about algebra, then in this, square means what? When I'm multiplying a number by itself, twice, right? When a number is multiplied by itself twice, then that becomes square. So what is another form for writing this? 2 into 2 is 2 to the power 2, right? Which means that I'm multiplying 2 how many times? 2 times. So this is what? This is known as the base, and this is known as the power or the exponent. Clear, children? Is this clear? So this is known as what? This is known as a square or a perfect square. Why is this known as a perfect square? Because it is the product of a number, of an exact number which is multiplied by itself, right? It is a number which is also the product. Let me explain it again. So what is a perfect square? See, 4, 64, 9, 121. What are all these numbers? These all are perfect squares. These all numbers are perfect squares. And why are these perfect squares? Because these all are basically what? Products. These numbers are products of numbers of exact numbers, which are multiplied by itself, which are multiplied by itself twice. Clear, children? So these are basically what? Perfect squares. These are perfect squares. Now there are certain properties of squares which we need to know. And what are those? So before that, what I would want is that please write squares from 1 to 30. Please write the squares from 1 to 30. Then you will be able to understand the properties which I will be telling you now. Then you will be able to understand the properties of squares that I'll be telling you now. That only then you will be able to understand it. So 1 to 30, please write the squares of these numbers. So first property says, what does first property says? That squares of even numbers are even. Okay, so let me take an example. If I wrote say 16 square, so what does this become? This is 256. So this is also even and this is also even, right? If I write something like this, say 8 square. So what is this? This is 64. This is also even, this is also even. If I write 10 square, so this is 100. So this is also even and this is also even, right? So when you're going to write the squares from 1 to 30, you will understand there, you will notice this pattern that the even number, squares of even numbers is even. And second property, what is related to that only. So what the second property says, that squares of odd numbers are odd. Squares of odd numbers are odd. Squares of odd numbers are odd, right? Let's take an example. Let's say if I write 17 square, so it is what? 289. If I write 9 square, it is 81, right? So all these are what? All these are odd. This is odd, this is also odd, this is odd, then this is also odd, right? So this holds true that squares of odd numbers will be odd. You will be able to find it. Third, what is third? The square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction. The square of a proper fraction is smaller than the fraction which is very obvious. Why it is very obvious? Because if I write something like this, say 3 by 4, it means that from 4 parts 3 are required, only 1 is remaining. And if I do square of this 3 by 4 whole square, which can be written like this, say 3 square upon 4 square, which becomes what? 9 upon 16. So understand, from 4 parts 3 are required, only 1 is remaining. From 16, 9 are only required, rest are remaining, right? So this fraction is greater, this fraction is greater than this, right? Right, children? So this is what I can say, that the square of a proper fraction is smaller than the given fraction. Fourth is, let me write it like this. Numbers ending with 0 have even number of zeros in the end of their squares. In the end of their squares. Let me write it properly. In the end of their squares. What does that mean? See, if I am writing 20, okay, and I want to write square of it. So what will it be? 4 and this 0 will give us like the square of this 0 would be 2 zeros, right? If I am writing something like this, say square of 90, so what will it be? 9 9s is 81, and the square of this 0 would be 2 zeros, right? So basically the thing is that square number having 0 would always end up in even number of zeros. It will always end up in even number of zeros, right? Next property is what? What is the next property? Sorry, just a second. It's a property, not a question. So the next property says that first property, the square of a decimal number less than 1. The square of a decimal number less than 1 will be smaller than the decimal number, Very easy. If I take an example like this, say 0.2, I took 0.2, and if I'm supposed to write the square of it, what will it be? Very simple, 0.2 and multiplied by 0.2. So this gives me how much? 4. And how many decimal places will it have? See, I'm going to add these. This is 1 and 1. So basically 2 decimal places. So I'm supposed to annex a 0 here and then point and then 0. So this becomes what? This becomes 0.04. So I can see that this is larger. This is a greater number than 0.04. 0.2 is greater than 0.04. Right. So this was basic about the properties of squares. Let's talk about square roots now. Let's talk about square roots. Before that, let me change the ink. What should I take? Purple. Okay, so let's talk about square roots. So square roots are what? They are basically the root cause of those squares. If I am saying that I have a number as 49, right? So what is the cause? What is the root cause of this number to be a square? What is the root cause of this number to be a square? Its root cause is 7 multiplied by 7, right? Its root cause is for this number to be a square, its root cause is that it is multiplied by, that 7 is multiplied by itself, right? So 7 becomes, this 7 is what? Square root. This 7 is square root of 49. How do we write square root? If I want to write square root, how am I supposed to write? See, this is the symbol. This is the sign which is used to write, to show, to represent what? To represent square root. Right, children? Just a second. So if I say something like this, say if something like this is given, root of 729. So this is basically, what is the square root of 729? What is the square root of 729? It is what? 27. It is what? 27. Right, children? So this is what square root is all about. Again, let me take one more example. Say if I write 900, and if I want to calculate the square root of it, means it is, how are we going to calculate this square root? Obviously by taking prime factorization of it. So if I want to do prime factorization of 900, what am I going to do? I'll start with prime factors. So let me take 3. This becomes 3 3s are 9 and 0. Again I'll take 3, and then, although it will start with 2 only, but I started with 3. Then I wrote 2, which is again 50 here. Then again I write 2, which is 25, and then I have 5 and 5, right? So basically what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to take the pairs. I'm supposed to take the pairs of it, and after making pairs, what will I see? I will take one number from this, and from this I'll take one number, and from this pair I will take one number. And what will I do? I'll just multiply it. 3 into 2 into 5. So this becomes my square root of this number. So if you want to calculate the square root of any number, you can do it through prime factorization method. Right? You can do it through prime factorization method. So there are certain properties of this as well. Which are, so what are the properties of square root? Properties of square root are So properties of square root are, see, now this again would come, this you can notice only when you are going to write the square roots from 1 to 30. So a square root, like if a number, just a second, if a number is ending with 2, 3, 7 or 8, then it cannot have, or it does not have a square root in natural number. Similarly, it goes, so what does this mean? That if a number is ending with 2, 3, 7 or 8, then it does not have a square root in natural number, or it cannot be a natural number, right? For example, say if I want to calculate the square root of let's say 27, right? If I want to calculate the square root of 27, so it cannot be a natural number. It will be a decimal number, which will be what? Equal to 5.19, right? So it cannot be a natural number. Similar is the case with number of zeros as well. So if a number is ending with odd number of zeros, then it does not have a square root in n, or in natural number. It is not a natural number. It is just the same case, right? Third important point, it is just the same as square, that the square root of even number, will be even, and square root of odd will be odd only. It will be odd only, right? So what could be the example here? Say if I write 64, then the square root of this is 8. This is also even, this is even. If I write 289, right, and square root of this is 17, right? So this is again what? This is odd, like 289 is odd, and hence 17 is also odd, right? Then last but not the least, which is what, and very important as well, negative numbers have no square root. Negative numbers have no square root in set of real numbers. In set of real numbers means if I want to calculate something like this, -9, then it won't be a real it won't be a real number, it will be an imaginary number which would be 3 iota. So this iota is used to represent imaginary number, but it won't be, this would be an imaginary number and not a real number, right? So we cannot calculate the root of negative numbers in real number form, or in set of real numbers, right children? So this was all for today. We'll be doing few questions related to this square. We'll be doing few questions related to the square roots, as well as next we'll be studying about the cube and cube roots and the rest topics, right? So thank you so much. Bye bye.